Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to talk about right now is what people are seeing and experiencing in everyday life when it comes to being of the prepared mind. And I could send pictures and videos and emails. And if you would like to do so, my email's in the description box below. So this first email comes in from a community member, and she sent me a link, and I'll leave it in the description box below. She said, I fall asleep with YouTube videos, music ones, and when I woke up this morning, this was playing on the TV. I did not start the night with this, and it showed up in the feed from YouTube. Made me feel better, and I wanted to share it with you. You are in Tampa, and I'm further inland, but in a precarious location in a mobile home. Yet the same God who carried me and my cats through Irma. Yeah, Irma was, that was a bad one. Yeah. Will do the same with Adelia, and he will do for you and your family. I immediately thought of you when I watched this, and I had to send it to you. It encompasses you, your cherished family, your home, and each person in your family with their health too. I trust God. I have no generator, but I do have a few small power banks, and one that jump starts a car that inflates tires. I am solo. My husband walked. Oh God. Okay. Wow. That's okay. You sustained damage in Irma that insurance denied. Are you kidding? That's terrible. However, me and my cats came through. There is a lot God has walked with me through. Yeah, same here. He is with you and your family. When that car hit your house, no one was hurt. Yeah, that night was. That night, it's like it was yesterday, because, you know, literally I was laying in bed, and I was watching TV, and I kept looking at my laundry basket going, you know, I really should put that in the washer. And literally 30 seconds later after I said that, I heard boom. Boom, boom. And my husband didn't even wake up. No one woke up. And I jumped, and I punched my husband, and I said, get up. And he goes, what happened? I said, something's not right. I said, you didn't hear that? And he goes, hear what? So I ran outside, and he ran outside. And that's when we saw everything. And I made a video about it, and I'll put it here. So, and my daughter-in-law, she wasn't here. She wasn't home. My son was home, and my niece and my nephew who live with us, they were, home, of course. And this was at like 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. And when I tell you, I lost my mind, because literally, if I would have gotten out of bed and put that laundry in the washer machine, I would have been out in that garage when that car came through the garage door. And I have a bad heart, you know what I mean? So I could have been done like that, because it would have scared the hell out of me. So she said, we are not scrambling. We are of the prepared mind, and we have assurance that God sees, God hears, and God is with us in everything. And my heart sends you much love and appreciation for all you do. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. She said, in spite of all your health issues, I have heart issues too. Oh, as well as other chronic conditions, and I am disabled. I know it can be much harder some days, but also he lifts me up when I feel drained. Same here. I know he's doing that for you too. Oh, every day. Praying and trusting God. Oh, okay. I know where you're at, Marion County. Yeah. Okay, I will leave the link in the description box below, because I watched a little bit of it, and it is beautiful. So thank you for sending that to me. So here is another email from a community member. She said, hi, I live and work in California at a local hardware store. In our staff meeting today, this news came out that we are planning to relocate to a new site where we have been told we will have the newest computers and better internet. We were also informed that our time clock will be by eye scan. What the? Oh, heck no. I simply said, is there another option for those of us who are not comfortable using an eye scan or laser in our eyeball to clock in? Yeah. What? They said they would look into it. I wonder what's next, because personally for me, I refuse to do this just for minimum wage job. What are your thoughts? Thanks, Mom in California. What are my thoughts? Quit, girl. Go somewhere else. But you know what? No, because it's going to be everywhere. You know, so it's like no matter where you go, you're going to be clocking in with your flipping eyeballs anyways, no matter where you go, because this is just the beginning. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Wow. Holy smokes. You know, not for nothing, but I'm surprised they haven't started this with our police departments, our fire departments, and things like that. I'm waiting for my husband to come home and throw his badge and go, I'm early retirement. Because that's him. That's him. He would literally throw his badge and his pew pew and go, I'm done. Because that's him. Yeah. But you know what? That, I'm sorry, it's going to be everywhere. So it's like, no matter if you quit and you go look somewhere else, it's going to be at that somewhere else. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Wow. I did not think I would hear about something like this soon. I have no words, and I don't want to give you advice and be like, yeah, go do this. You know what I mean? Because then you're going to come back and be like, why did you tell me to do that? You know what I mean? Because no matter where you go, it's going to be popping up everywhere. Sad to say, unless you want to work from home. But then again, they're going to say, well, you need to clock in and clock out when you work from home. And what are they going to do? Oh, here, put your camera. Here, I'm going to move my camera around. Put your camera. Now get up real close and scan your eyeball. Okay. So it's like there's no way of getting away from it. Yeah. Jeez. So here's another email from a community member, and she said, I was at work and I came across a gold quarter. Ooh. Heard they are changing coins again. Is that true? Oh, I don't know. Ouch. How the hand is catching. Oh, you're catching up on the videos. Yeah, I've been hearing that from a lot of people. I don't know if they're changing coins again. Huh. Wow. I know we have a lot of coin collectors in our community, so if somebody can answer that question for me, please. Thank you. Okay, so here is an email from my bestie who lives in the UK, and she said, a few days ago, I sent you an email concerning things happening in the UK with the banks. And then I found this article that I wanted to tell you about, but I couldn't find it at the time. This one is Barclays Bank again. Not only have they been drastically reducing customer credit limits on their credit card, they are now also reducing overdraft limits on bank accounts, regardless of how wealthy someone is, according to the headline. Oh my God. Customers have told the Telegraph that Barclays wrote to say that their overdraft limit will be cut to ensure that they do not borrow more than is manageable. Yeah, but if they're wealthy, what the hell does it matter? I laughed at this because since when have the banks ever been concerned about people getting in debt and borrowing more than they can afford? Yeah, right? I know. If anything, the banks have both actively encouraged and helped people get into debt by offering them all kinds of credit and services that have to be paid for. As I said in my last email, with inflation and much higher costs of living, more people are struggling and getting into debt. So this now has the banks more concerned about getting their money back in a way that they weren't before. They are not concerned with helping their customers. They're only interested in helping themselves, and that's the truth. Yeah, no kidding. So this article goes on to say, in 2020, Barclays was fined £26 million after it was found to have mistreated some customers who were in financial difficulties and fell behind on credit card and loan payments between 2014 and 2018. Okay, she left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I believe, links. So I'll put those in the description box below, okay? So she said, I have my own personal story concerning Barclays Bank, but that's for another time. Now Lloyds Bank are drawing up plans to scrap millions of a popular passbook savings account in a move campaigners feel will discriminate against the elderly and pave the way for more branch closures. They will have to use mobile apps or cash machine cards or ATM cards to manage their nest eggs. And Lloyd's plans to give customers as little as 2 months notice of the change when it notifies them later this year. Lloyd's Bank planning to scrap millions of passbook savings accounts in controversial move feared to hit the elderly the hardest and trigger yet more branch closures. My God. Another piece of news I came across the other day is one concerning taxi drivers. Taxi drivers all over the UK are set to lose hundreds of pounds in profit due to card payment fees, is the headline. So what is this all about? I asked myself. Taxi drivers are likely to lose hundreds of pounds every year if more customers pay by card instead of cash. The new data from ECD Technologies shown to express.co.uk reveals a cashless society could see taxi drivers massively affected by a loss of earnings. This is purely down to commission charges, which taxi drivers are forced to pay on each card transaction. Although commission charges are liable for tax relief, the whole fee is not paid back, meaning they would still earn more if they were paid in cash. And taxi drivers across the country are being forced to accept cards by local authorities despite preferring cash. So Transport for London has told all taxi drivers that they must fit a approved, what is that, TFL or TFI, approved payment device inside of their vehicles. And earlier this year, local taxi drivers in Tunbridge Wells were told off by bureau counselors after passengers reported being rejected for tips if they didn't pay with cash. That's balls. So this is yet another sector being forced to accept card payments and provide card reader machines. Wow, so you guys are going through this same thing over there that we are over here. More and more shops, cafes, etc. are refusing cash, and this really has accelerated since the lockdown. So what about the small independent and one-person businesses? They'll all be going after them in due course, no doubt. Take my hairdresser, for instance. She never had her own salon. When her boys were little, she did hairdressing from her house. Once they were all at school, she passed her driving test and has always visited her customers in their homes. She has only ever accepted cash as payment in all her years as a hairdresser. I have a small Chinese takeaway a few minutes walk from me. They never offered a delivery service. They don't do online ordering, and nor do they offer card payment. It has always been cash. Obviously, this particular takeaway runs the business this way in order to not pay out extra costs and have more profit, so fair play to them, right? So if something is passed in the UK Parliament, all the businesses must offer card payment as an option, what are these cash-only traders going to do? they're either going to have to comply or give up their businesses, aren't they? Well, of course, because if they can't afford the fees, you know, then what they'll have to probably do is, like, I know, like a small, like mom and pop, like stores like around here, like in order to use your credit card, you have to spend this amount of money, that type of thing. So as you know, I have a group expedition coming up in 2 weeks. And 2 years ago, our group leader got a card reader so customers could pay with their debit or credit card. Artworks range in price from under £100 to a few hundred, and people are not wandering around with this sort of money on their person now, are they? Well, of course not, because who would? So for every transaction on their card reader, a fee is charged, but I don't know what the percentage actually is. You would have to ask Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, that type of thing, because I think they all charge different percentages. Yeah, and especially, I think this percentage is different on the amount as well. Yeah. So she said, if I sell a piece of art and the purchaser pays with their debit card, the fee of the transaction is then taken off my total cost of the art, and I get the remainder of the money. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's how that works. She said, I'm not impressed by having to pay out yet another cost, but there's not a lot I can do about it if I want to do this exhibition. I can't very well tell our group leader or the customer to sod off and shove their card payment where the sun don't shine. Oh, sure you can. Come on, we're besties. You're just like me and I'm just like you. Tell them to fuck off. So anyway, in fact, this group leader has been inventing other costs for us to pay, which I'm not happy about either. But there's not a lot that I can do. Then today I found this little gem with the following headline: Disease X vaccine could be ready within 100 days of a new threat emerging. Yeah, I know, you too, huh? I know, ours is supposed to start next month, so you have 100 days, we don't. So apparently this is for a new one with pandemic potential. It could be developed in as little as 100 days thanks to groundwork by British scientists. Researchers from University of Oxford are examining how to adapt it, created for 19 for an unknown disease called X. And the announcement comes as Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations announced it was awarding Oxford scientists up to $80 million for the project. $80 million, really? So I said to myself, there's a lot of viruses out there, and yes, some could be a real problem to humans. So these scientists trying to identify which ones could be problematic is their part of the job, I suppose. So, okay. However, what I'd like to know is, how do you make an arm ticket for an unknown disease that hasn't even appeared yet? Just saying, because it's not real. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I guess it depends on how you interpret the article and how you want to make the information, but I trust nothing. So no one gets what they're planning on is another one of my questions. So that's it from me. Much love. Well, I love you too. Oh my gosh, she's awesome, I swear. So here's another email from a community member, and I will leave also a link that she left me in the description box below. She said, I hope you and your family are safe during the storm that is hitting us. Yes, we're fine. Thank you. No damage at all whatsoever. She said, we can't get a break, can we? Of course, it happens during testing week and right after school starts. Yeah, I know, right? Yay! She said, the madness can't end. We are definitely some kind of awful ride. I want to warn your community members who work for Walmart that they are laying some of them off, definitely at a few locations in our state of Florida that will be affected. Most on the list have already happened, but in Jacksonville, there is a new one happening. I urge Walmart employees to keep an eye on this site. They are reporting it here. I watched the dates from how many each store is laying off and the time frame. By law, any company over 100 employees must report the layoffs due to the WARN Act. So each state will have to warn you over 200 being laid off. Likely the store is closing. Ew, really? Oh no. A store that has 400 employees laying off. The store is completely closing. So that would tell community members that they are losing that store to shop at too. Also attached a warning label on the package of a fluoride they're putting in our water in case anyone is curious what it said. It's also used in toothpaste. Yes, I know. So there has been a fear of propaganda going around about the new variant, as you know. Yes, I know, honey. I can't talk about that because you know they will give me a strike. So, all right, I will leave that link in the description box below. Thank you for warning all of the Walmart employees. Okay, so here is an email from a community member, and she said, heads up, they might do it again this year. Last October 9th at the Dollar Tree, they had an Associate Appreciation Day with a 10% discount on a purchase of $10 or more, but you had to have the voucher that was distributed prior to that date. Every little bit helps. Take care, Toots. Take care, you too, Toots. And now for a commercial break. So here is an email from a community member with some pictures. She said, more farmers in Louisiana saying they can't reach it and it's surrounded by water. If they can't get to it, then how the hell did it start? Yeah, no shit. So here is an email from a community member along with some pictures. She said, hi, I hope you're doing well. Toilet paper prices in Bethesda, Maryland are pricey. 12 rolls for $21.49, 6 rolls for $17.99. What the hell? Why? Are you serious? This is in our local grocery store. Yikes. That okay. If you have Sam's, it's so much. Sam's is so much cheaper. That's the only place that I buy my toilet paper and my paper towels. Okay. I have found that, I know everybody's going to say, oh my God, no, don't do that. Amazon, they have really good prices on Amazon Basics, toilet paper and paper towels too. So you might want to check them out too. Yeah. And here is 2 screenshots of an email that I received from a community member. Okay. And before I go, I leave you with these videos that were sent in by community members. These are for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research. I will see you guys in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.
All right, Sarah. So we're going to step away from this, the seriousness of this storm for just 1 second. You got to bear with me because this is something you don't see every day, guys. What are you doing? Literally, this is a very new way to beat rush hour traffic on Bayshore Boulevard in Tampa. These guys are kayaking down this major thoroughfare, Tampa over my shoulder here. I mean, look at that. I don't want to minimize the serious nature of this storm, but this is what people are dealing with in Tampa as we speak.
You're at home when the power goes out. What do you do next? The first thing we're going to want to do is check if this was a grid failure or an EMP. Thankfully, this is a simple task. If your cell phone or your vehicles don't work, chances are it's an EMP or a solar flare. But if your cell phone and your vehicle still work, chances are it's a grid failure. So we've determined what we believe is the cause of the power outage. What do we do next? Next, we want to determine the scope of the outage. How far does it reach? If it's a regular grid collapse, the easiest way would be to turn on a radio, whether that's a battery operated radio, crank radio, or the radio in your car. Unfortunately, with an EMP, this will be harder to do because most radios will not be working. So if you have a ham radio that was shielded in a Faraday cage, then you might be able to listen in to some of the operators talking in other states. But in a case where it is an EMP and my vehicle doesn't work and my cell phone doesn't work, I'm going to assume the worst. I will assume that more than likely most of the United States is affected. If it is an EMP, it's important to remember not to remove any electronic devices from your Faraday cages or your Faraday bags for up to 2 hours. Assume if there was one strike, there will probably be more. Assume that if there was one solar flare, there might be more. So the moment you take those electronic items out of the bag, they could be fried. So wait up to 2 hours, if not longer, if you can. Next, grab any cash that you have and head to the grocery store. You'll need cash because obviously credit card machines will be down, which means credit card transactions will be down. Finding a store that's still open may be difficult. Most stores require their customers to leave when a power outage happens due to liability. If you do find a store that's open, grab any items that you don't have or any items that you need more of. If you have pets, don't forget them. Get as much food as you can for them because eventually you will see them starve and you'll have to make a choice to put them down or let them go. Operational security is key. Don't let your neighbors know what you have. Try to bring those groceries in discreetly. Next, I'm going to want to board the windows and the doors. If you have a security bar for your door, use that. If you don't have plywood, use blackout curtains and duct tape. This is more for light discipline than it is for protection. But if you can get plywood, use it because it has the added benefit of protection. When using plywood, attach it from the inside. This will make it harder for someone to try and pry it off. Light discipline is key. If people look into your house and see lights, they're going to assume that you're more prepared than they are, making you a target. Next, I'd pull all my gear into one location so I could visualize it and move it to other locations strategically. This allows me to see what I have and where I can best stage this equipment. At this point, all guns become loaded and all bodies become armed. From this point on, assume society will collapse quickly and trust no one. Next, I'd make a ration plan. Unless you're doing strenuous activity like chopping wood, moving heavy items, or walking long distances, you should be able to survive off of minimal calories. However, if you are doing those strenuous activities, you need more calories, which means you need more food. Once you've made a ration plan, it's time to cook what's in your refrigerator and your freezer. Unfortunately, trying to keep these items cold will be a losing battle. It's best to eat what you can the rest, or throw it away. You can cook these items by using something like a Coleman camp stove or an MSR pocket rocket. These are fairly inexpensive items and they run off of propane, not electricity. You can also use a gas grill or a charcoal grill, but keep in mind if you're cooking food outside, the smell will travel and that will alert other people to your preparations. Now, if you live in an apartment, you won't be able to do this as easily, but if you live in the country, booby trapping and early warning devices would be my next step. I would lay these devices so that I would be alerted to those who are snooping around my property. The next thing that I would start right away is a security watch rotation. Since it's usually my wife, myself, and our infant son, we would have to split the watch between the two of us. This could be something like 6 hours on, 6 hours off, allowing me to sleep for 6 hours and her to sleep for 6 hours. But during that 6-hour watch rotation, someone is always up, they're always armed, and they're always walking the perimeter. Even during the daylight, you still need to have these watch rotations. However, you'll both be up, so it'll be easier to handle those responsibilities. These are just some of the things that I would do during the first hours of a grid down scenario. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave a comment. I'd love to hear it. As always, stay safe, stay prepared.
The question is, how much is it going to cost? St. Petersburg is the newest city to be chosen to be transformed into a smart city. It's a push to change the way that neighbors in the area live, work, and play. Under a 3-year grant, Spectrum will provide wired and wireless network services focused on the St. Pete Innovation District. Local leaders want to use these new resources to create advanced applications and services that address local needs, including infrastructure, workforce development, public safety, education, and community health.
As pilot projects occur, we will gain insight about what works for our community. Then we can expand those programs throughout the region and share with other cities. We have the Smart Streetlight project, which will be equipped with sensors, and then an online marine science education program where we're going to be having researchers in the field and out on research vessels connected to kids and our Boys and Girls Clubs here in the community.
St. Petersburg joins 26 other cities in the program, which was launched by US Ignite. That nonprofit is working to speed up the smart city movement.
I'd like to start by the rumors, just rumors on the internet. Because I have started to speak openly about the state of Africa and how we need to protect our continent. The Westerners and their people have used artificial intelligence technology to plant stories about me to say that I am a comedian. Please do not believe in any of these fake stories. They are using artificial intelligence to make me look like a comedy buffoon on the internet because I am speaking the truth. This message really is for America. It's for Joe Biden and his government. I am fully aware that you have condemned the coup in Niger. I'm fully aware that the Secretary of State has also condemned and is pushing ECOWAS. In short, is very happy with the way ECOWAS has responded. I am not happy that we have put ourselves in a position where we'll be attacking our brothers because of democracy. I have to say that America is in no position to lecture Africa about democracy. Look at the state of your democracy. Look at what you are doing to my good friend Donald Trump. You should let him run for office, but you're coming up with all sorts of indictments to stop him from running for office. America is behaving like Pakistan, where they have jailed the opposition leader, Imran Khan, for 3 years. It is clear that Donald Trump will win the next election. If you are really practicing democracy, America, do not lecture Africa about democracy, because you are not practicing democracy at the moment. You are trying to get Donald Trump disqualified because you know he will win the next election if he becomes the Republican nominee. And I know from what my people have told me that he will be the Republican nominee. Look, we want the best for our continent. We know what is right for our continent. We know that democracy is not perfect. Even in America, you have issues. You are still facing the repercussions of what happened on the 6th of July. You say that Donald Trump was involved in overthrowing the presidential elections. It wasn't a coup. It wasn't a military coup. There is no evidence that Donald Trump involved the American army. No evidence at all. How can you call that a coup? And if America cannot get democracy right, what gives you the audacity to think that you can lecture Africa about how democracy should work in Africa? It is not perfect. It is not a perfect system of government. And we know that. Most people know that. And Americans need to open their eyes. So really, this message is for Joe Biden. If you really do believe in democracy, allow Donald Trump to run for office. Fight your battles at the ballot box, not through the judiciary. And some people will say I have been paid by Donald Trump to make this message. Far from it. I am just really concerned that a country that says that it wants to protect democracy, a country that has spent millions of pounds protect democracy in the Ukraine, a country that cannot sort out its own backyard when it comes to democracy, is giving us a lecture about what is right for Africa. Enough is enough. America should stay away from the issues we face in Africa. We will find a way, and democracy may well not be the answer. Thank you.